Hi, this is question 8 from the AQA Core 2 January 2013 exam paper. For the first part of this video, I'd like you to try the question yourself, so if you'd like to pause the video and have a go at the question now. Okay, well done if you managed to have a go. I'm now going to go through a hint for the question. So for part A, we want to expand 1 plus 4 over x all squared. Now my tip to people here is to always write this out in this way here, because a common mistake that I see even experienced mathematicians do is to just square that and write that as your answer. So if you write it out in full in this way, then you will avoid that mistake. Part B says find the first 4 terms of the binomial expansion of 1 plus x over 4 to the power of 8. So to do this question, you might want to use the formula that's given to you in your formula book. So I'll stick that up here, and in here A is 1 and B is x over 4, and you can substitute that into this formula here. Okay, and then part C says hence find the coefficient of x in this expansion here. So once you've expanded this out for the first 4 terms and got it in this form here, and you've already expanded this out, you'll be able to match together the product of any terms that are going to give you an x term, and you can use that to work out the coefficient of the x term. Okay, so if you'd like to pause the video now and see if you can have a go at answering the questions. Okay, so for the next part of the video, I'm going to go over the full solution of the question. I'm just going to move that out of the way a little bit. Okay, so for part A, I said to you that we want to write it in this form over here. I can now expand this because I've got, depends how you've been shown how to do it, this is the way I do it. So 1 times 1 is 1, and then I've got 1 times 4 over x and another 4 over x times 1, so altogether that's going to be 8 over x, yeah, because I've got 2 lots of 4 over x, and then I've got 4 over x times by 4 over x, so 4 times 4 is 16 and x times x is x squared, so I've got plus 16 over x squared. Okay, part B, the first 4 terms of this expansion we want to write in this form here. Okay, so we're expanding 1 plus, and be careful this time because it's x over 4 to the power of 8, yeah, so we see that these two are different to each other. Okay, so that's going to be equal to, and I'm going to have 1 to the power of 8 plus, and I've got, my n is 8, so I've got 8 choose 1, and I'm going to have 1 to the power of 7 times x over 4. Okay, and then I've got a plus, and now I'm going to have 8 choose 2, and that goes down by a power, so it's going to be 1 to the power of 6, and this goes up by a power, so that's going to be x squared over 16 plus 8 choose 3, and this goes up by a power, so it's going to be, sorry, this goes down by a power, so it's going to be 1 to the power of 5, and this one goes up by a power, and that's going to be x cubed over 64. 64, and then I've got, well, hold on, 1, 2, 3, so I've got my 4 terms that I need, but obviously this would carry on. Okay, so so that's going to be equal to 1 plus, and 8 choose 1 is going to be 8, 1 to the 7 just 1, so that's going to be 8, so it's going to be 8x over 4, I'll simplify this in a minute, plus, and 8 choose 2 is going to be 28 times 1, so remember we can just do this in our calculator, so we've got 28x squared over 16, so 6, plus, and 8 choose 3 is going to be 56, so 56x cubed over 64. Okay, and simplifying that, I'm going to have 1 plus 2x plus 7 quarters x squared plus 7/8 x cubed. Brilliant. Okay, and this will carry on. Right, and so we've got our first 4 terms. Part C, we want the coefficient of the expansion of this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this as, and I've got 1 plus 8 over x plus 16 over x squared, and so that's that bit, and I'm going to times it by this here, 1 plus 2x plus 7 quarters x squared Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look at which terms match together to give me an x term. So 1 times 1 doesn't, but 1 times 2x, that will give me an x term. Also, so that would be x squared and that would be x cubed. 8 over x times 1, 8 over x times 2x, that wouldn't. 8 over x times, so this one does, because the x squared and this x will cancel one of the x squareds will cancel each other out with this x here, so that will give me an x term, and also this one here is going to give me an x term. Okay, so so those, because I'm only interested in the coefficient of the x, those are the only 3 things I need to multiply out. So 1 times 2x is going to be 2x, and 8 over x times by 7 quarters x squared, well, the x squared over x is going to give me the x, so I'm going to have 56 over 4 plus 56 over 4 times x. I'll simplify that in a second, and 16 over x squared times by that there is going to give me 112 over 8x Okay, and that's going to be equal to 2x plus, that's going to be 14x plus, and that's also going to be 14x, which gives me 30x. Okay, so we're asked to find the coefficient of x, so we can say therefore coefficient of x is 30. And there you go. So I hope that was okay. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you again soon.